What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bugs' DCS Cruise. I got another earlier video for you guys, or earlier in the day, I should say. So, you're going to see two different things on this one. I know some of you guys are looking at this section right here and are going, what the hell is that, Bugs? I'll get to that in a second. The first thing I want to touch on is the jet that we're sitting in. So that's the F-16. I've always said I wanted to start flying the Viper a little bit more on the channel, and that's what we're going to do. I found a workaround for the joystick grip for the time being. So this is going to be a little bit of a test to see how well it works and if it works. And if it does, then the Viper will be making an appearance more and more. As you guys have known from previous videos, I didn't have any control over my countermeasures whatsoever. So trying to do anything with that in a contested environment, forget about it. Unless it was a guns-only fight, it wasn't going to happen. The second thing is, let's address this elephant in the room right here. I finally got the civilian aircraft mod to work on DCS, so we're going to be trying that out tonight. We have a couple of different airliners in the airspace. The reason I wanted this mod is for certain missions I want to create that I have in mind. Airliners and civilian traffic are kind of needed for it, otherwise it's really not going to work. And it's a little bit limited as to what you could use to mimic that in DCS. The closest thing you can get is the Yak 40, but it'll be nice to have a little bit of a different variation of aircraft to choose from. So I have this along with the military asset mod. So the one we're going to be playing with tonight is the civilian aircraft mod, and the other one's the military aircraft mod. This should be interesting. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to take the Viper up from a cold start. We're going to fly out, and there's a couple of different airliners floating around, as you guys could see. So we have a couple of 7.4s, a couple of 7.3s, and a couple of DC-10s floating around. One of our targets is going to be one of the DC-10s. So it's going to be up to us to figure out which one we're going after. So we're going to have to make sure the altitude is correct, the heading is correct. He's roughly going to be about 10,000 feet, so we're going to see what could happen. We're going to have to VID for sure, because the last thing we want to do is shoot down an airliner for no reason. I'm not about that, and if that does happen, you'll see my demeanor change rather quickly to being happy to being not so happy. So I don't tolerate or stand for mistakes like that. So without any further ado, let's unpause, let's get the Viper turned over, started up and online, and then we'll take off, blow out Almanad, and see what we could do. And as far as our armament for tonight, before I forget, we're carrying 2 AMRAAMs, 2 heaters, and 2 drop tanks. Who knows how long we're going to be aloft for, so the Viper doesn't carry much fuel. We don't have tanker support for this one, so the 2 370s under our wings are going to help. So I'm going to stop yapping, and I'm going to get the jet set up. We'll worry about that in a minute. 'Cause looks good. Let's get our stuff turned on that we need. Oops. Not that. Worry about that later. And the nice part about this one, guys, is we're not getting a shot at, so we don't have to worry too much about that, which is cool. Sometimes taking a break from getting a shot at is nice. My neck definitely thanks me. Alrighty. Let's get these online here. Okay. We should be ready to get power on and then start up. Battery, power mains. Like I said, this isn't really a how-to on how to start the Viper. I've done that in the past to you guys. If you roll back a couple of videos and scroll through, you guys will see there's a down and dirty how-to on how to start the Viper just to get it up in the air, which is exactly what I'm doing here for the most part. Alright, here comes our JFS. RPM's coming up. Sec lights out, introducing throttle, and good start. Canopy's coming down. Alright, it's been a while since I've flown the Viper, so this is going to be interesting, guys, to say the least. Let's get our parking brake on. Get the rest of our stuff set up. Alright, just a couple more things I gotta go through really quick here, guys, and then we'll be up in the air before you know it. Excuse me. Sorry about that, folks. Alright, there's our navigation. I'll just wait for our tack in pulse to come back, so we can set the volume for that, because I don't want to hear that throughout the flight. There it is. Let's turn that down a little bit. Okay. Alright, RWS ready to go. Let's make sure we're transmitting on our data link. Looks like we are. Alright guys, we look good to go. Let's see if we can roll on out of here and go find ourselves our target. There's one of the airliners right there. So we're going to be operating in around the Angels 9 block, or the 9,000 foot block, so that should be pretty comfortable for the Viper, especially with its stubby little wings. Oops, let's get the seat armed up. Alright, all lights are out. We're going to keep our master arm off until we need it. So we're going to first VID the target that we need to, and then we'll worry about going master arm on for the weapon solution. Alright, that guy's past the runway. This is when ATC would be helpful, guys. Especially when you have multiple aircraft in the same airspace. Case in point, if you look off to my 9-10 o'clock, would be nice to know who he is and where he's going. Alright, let's see what we could do with this thing. Let's get our power coming on. Nose wheel disengaged. A little bit of afterburn. And we're going up. Gears coming. Alright guys, we're flying the Viper again. There's another one there. Let's watch out for him because we're going the same direction. Nice easy climb out. Let's roll out to about 9,000. There he is. Actually, you know what? We're gonna bring it up to 11, so we're not co-altitude with anybody. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, we're a little higher than I wanted to be, but that's alright. Let's see what this guy is. Alright, I said I wanted to be operating in the 9,000 foot block. I'm in the 9,000 foot block, not the 15,000 foot block. What's this guy? Looks like a 7.3. Let's see, how close are we? Oh, that was our bad guy. Huh. Okay. Let's... Oh, I don't want that. That's our bad guy. Let's see if we can go for an AMRAAM shot on him. Fox 3. Alright, I guess that was a miss. Let's try this one. Fox 3. That thing hooked a little bit. Let's see. Oh yeah, they're both going. Alright, that's gotta stop. Let's see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here it comes. Oh, she's losing her momentum. Well, that's not good. That one's not. That might be a miss too. Let's make sure we're not going to crash, which certainly we're headed towards the ground. Alright, that one missed. Yeah, those missed. Alright. That's not good. Alright, so the two AMRAAMs missed. Let's see if we can get our sidewinders online and do that. Box 2. Box 2. I didn't uncage it. I'm an idiot. Oh, we hit him actually. Look at that. Alright, so that was a little bit of an epic disaster, I'm not gonna lie. Four missiles on one jet, and 3 of the 4 missed. That's really not good odds, Bugs. Well, that's alright. Like I said, it's been quite a while since I flew the Viper, and especially done any weapons deployments off of it, so... Let's see, where are we here? There's one of our missiles still flying in the air. Oh boy. Alright, let's bring her on home. Let's see if we can land this thing. There's another airliner right there. Let's not be co-altitude with him. We don't need a midair. He's 26 miles out. Another one right off our nose. We should be low enough. And plus our airstrip is right there. Alright, let's start cutting back on our power a little bit.
Altitude. Altitude.
Alright guys, let's see what we could do if we can bring this thing down in one piece, in one shot. Alright, let's see if we get a nice little external shot of the gear coming down. Not bad. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing down in one piece. Like I said, it's been a while, so let's see what happens. Alright, here goes nothing, guys. Not good. Oof, that was hard. That was a hard landing. Not one of my best, but at least we're on the ground. And I don't think we have any cautions or anything broke, so that's good. Nope, we're good. Cool. Ooh. I'm gonna slow this thing down a little bit. Alright, we'll just roll off the runway. Alright, seats received. Alright, let's taxi back to the parking area where we took off from. And we'll go from there. Just bear with me for one moment, folks. almost there, guys. One more turn after this one. Alright, guys. Let's see how close we got it on the yellow line. Parking brakes on. Yeah, pretty close. Well, landing gear's a little bent. That wasn't that hard landing, but she got us home. Alright, guys. Well, that'll do it for that one. That was a nice little refresh on the F-16. You see how to work the radar and the air-to-air weapons again. Much more to come with the Viper and with the civilian traffic mod that I just showed you guys. I'm looking forward to integrating that into some of the missions. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe for more. And until the next sortie, strap in, arm up the seat, and keep flying.